Can you see that fly?
Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking. Why do you decide to talk at the worst times?
Mummy and Daddy said don't swear.
Right, someone else start it then, because
Right.
when I do it, people just talk over me.
Did you clap?
I clapped.
Say, you doing it again? Where you
Right, I've just
talk
clapped
as
there
someone's
now.
about to clap.
I didn't hear your clap. I didn't even see you clap.
This isn't good for my blood pressure.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the Here's the Craic podcast episode, whatever. We are recording virtually because this is the times we're in. Strange times.
Unforeseen circumstances.
The three of us can't meet together. Thomas is breathing down his mic like some ASMR type stuff. How's everybody doing in lockdown? Are you or sort of lockdown? I don't know, what even is it now?
We're not. It isn't really lockdown now. People were slagging us for meeting up, so
Yeah,
have to keep people happy, don't you?
yeah.
We probably would have
Some
met
other
up
people.
only for people getting COVID and stuff.
I know.
In our friend group, you could say people have got COVID and it's getting a bit risky.
But we're all clear. The main thing is in Austria you don't have it.
Yeah, I went and got tested and all.
How did that go?
It was weird, like you just line up and they just give it to you and you go and do it in the car. But I say you have to proper stick it up your nose and down your throat and all.
If you're deep throat it.
Yeah.
Ugh. But do you have
Did
to
someone not do that for you?
do you have to, in the words of Cardi B, touch that little dangly thing that's swing at the back
You
of
have
your
to
throat?
the instructions are so weird. It's like rub it in your tonsils for 5 seconds or 10 seconds or something, and then you have to stick it up your nose, and it's like stick it up your nose until you feel some resistance, and you're like, oh, it's rotten. Because you sort of think because another person it doesn't have to do it, it's not gonna be that bad. You're sort of like, oh, this won't be too bad, and then you're actually doing it, and you're like, nasty.
So how far did you get up your nose before you felt some resistance?
I nearly lost the
Did you
thing,
feel your brain?
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
I wouldn't. No. I could barely get anything down the back of my throat without gargling like that, without near boking.
That's not what I've heard around Ballymena.
How do you know that, Ross?
You know, that's that cycling club you're a part of, bumped into a few of them boys.
To be fair, the only reason why I know it is because I had like an ulcer or something down the back of my throat one time, and then I was trying to it was really sore, and I stuck my finger. This was whenever I was younger. I stuck my finger in my mouth to try and get at it, and I was just like, ugh.
Jesus, thanks for that story. That was
problem.
nice. Speaking of stories, Ross,
Hmm.
we've all had that moment.
Lead
where
on.
You feel like you've seen someone you know, and you're like, you'll either bump into them and be like, or you look at them and you'll sort of be like, oh well, and walk past, and then you realize that's not the person I thought it was. But it can be a bit embarrassing. But like Ross, let's talk it to the next level. We were talking in the group chat today, and we're talking about things. What are we going to talk about today, guys, in the podcast? And then Ross shared this story.
The giver of thought this actually only even happened I kid you not, about half an hour ago. I was walking down my yard, right, and there's this girl that goes to the gym with me, girl Joanne. She's like an older lady, but she's quite thin and small, but she runs up past my house all the time. And when she runs up past my house, I always go like, yo, go ahead, because we're quite friendly. And I was walking down the yard. I was walking down the yard and I didn't have my glasses on. And I just seen this small lady running past the front of my house. And I just you go on ahead, love, keep her lit out there. And this woman just turned around and was like, what? And I was like, keep her lit. And then she was like, who are you? And I was like, oh no. And then she started walking into the front of my house, down my driveway, to try get a better look at me. And she was like, I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on, but I really just don't know who you are. And I was like, oh no, it's fine, go on ahead. And just darted in through my back door. I was like,
my god.
my
When she
mum,
turned around,
my
were you not
mum was
like,
pissing herself. My mum was like, I knew that wasn't Joanne. And I was like, well, you could have given me a heads up while I was bellowing down the yard if you're shouting at her.
what did you expect your mom to do in that situation? Like shout out the window, Ross, no,
Don't do
don't
it.
do
Do
it.
it.
No, I like was walking down the yard, just seen this like wee small woman like run up past the house, and I was just like, that's Joanne. So just like I didn't even stop
Thank
to think,
God.
which was possibly the moral of the story here. But I was just like, ew, go on ahead, love, keep her let that there. And then she just like turned around and looked at me, and I was like, wait, what? Why is she not like? Has she had a bad day or something? And then she started
My
walking into the
God.
front of my house like, who are you? I've never seen you before. And I was like, oh no.
Did you, when
It's-
she turned around, were you not like, oh shit, that's not her? Or did you, is your eyesight that bad that she had to like walk into your eyes for you to be
Mum-
like, oh wait, I don't
No,
know.
like she walked down like a couple of like maybe 10, 20 yards down like my drive and was like pure looking at me. And we were both walking towards each other. And then I was just like, oh, that's not her. But instead of just being like, oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else, I just kept up as if I was just like supporting her. I was like, oh, it's fine, go on ahead, like you're doing really well. And she was like, oh,
No,
thanks.
you
and just
didn't.
ran off. Instead, like that's what mum was
my
pissing herself
God.
about. Mum was like, why didn't you just not say, oh, sorry, I thought you were, oh, sorry, I thought you were someone else. I was just like, she walked up towards me and I was like, oh no, it's fine, like just it doesn't matter, like it doesn't matter, you don't know who I am, just keep going.
Go
just keep
away.
going.
I don't even think I would do that
That's
if I did
so
know the
awkward.
person running past them.
Just a Ballymena
Would
thing.
Because I'd be
It
afraid
must
of something
be-
happening.
It's just a Ballymena thing. We're just that
Keep her
used
It's
to.
just a
It's just
cheap or lit
we're just that used to shouting at people.
for
We're just,
play.
we're just that used
Someone
to.
said that to me. I had to turn around and F them off. Like.
What?
Someone told me to keep her lit. Like.
What would she just
Someone
be like?
shouted at me whenever I was out for a run. Like.
Like you live pretty close to Brona.
Leave me
Like
alone.
imagine like you running past Brona's house and her shouting out, "Oh God, shit, keep her lit, son."
I'd be
Or
so
are you
weird
shouting
about
at
that.
Brona? Like the night you'd be getting a text like from Shay being like, "Here, what the fuck's wrong with Brona? Why is she just shouting at me out the window?"
Yeah, okay. Like.
It must
I'm
be a
just trying to
Ballymena
get in
thing.
shape.
It's pretty weird up there now.
Speaking of Ballymena,
Oh,
in the news again.
Great
Speak-
segue.
speaking of Ballymena and shouting things, here we go.
Oh my God, segue of a lifetime.
I didn't even know really what happened until
Right,
I think it
I'll
was
read the head. I'll read the headline here. Ballymena supermarket shoppers shocked after Pope slur on tannoy. So basically, someone shouted over the tannoy system, "F the Pope," and the police have been called. Like,
Oh no! I think there was a
oh my
man.
God.
I think there was a man fined or something for it, or there's a man caught or something for it.
Right, this man says, right, all of a sudden the words "F the Pope" were shouted through the tannoy system and echoed throughout the store. I was shocked and offended that this happened. It is not the sort of thing you expect to hear when you're on your way down an aisle. Oh, that's true, Farley.
I love the way some of the people interviewed phrase things. You'd swear they
I
were
know.
like permanently damaged from it. The
I
experience.
love the way that, like, this goes on, and he's like, "You're more used to hearing a message maybe saying that items are reduced in price in the bakery department or something like that, but not this sort of offensive message." I
Imagine
love the
this,
way he goes on to
as
he
if he's
goes
like
on to describe like what you hear in a shop as if no one's ever been in one before. Like,
he's going on as if like it's like like he can't sleep whenever he goes home. It's like beep boo.
It's just completely ruined his experience of shopping now for the rest of his life. He's never going to go into a supermarket again.
oh my God, the police said it is being treated as a hate incident.
Well, technically, aye.
Pope's raging, mate.
A
He's gonna file a complaint.
male youth accessed the tannoy system at around 10:20 p.m. on Tuesday evening. Imagine being the police officer called that situation. Like, what is that phone call like? Do you know
If
what I
it was
mean?
me, I get there and turn around and go home again. Like.
Like, if you were the
Seriously.
police officer and they're like calling the police and they're like, "Hello, sir, we've just had an incident in the store. A boy who shouted F the Pope down a tannoy system." Would you not just be like, right, well, what do you want me to do about that?
All they can really do is get the CCTV footage, which I'm surprised they haven't got now, and just sent it to the police and said that's the wee shit there.
But like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna get fined, or is he gonna get a
Well,
slap
mate,
on the wrist?
like it is kind of like where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line with that stuff? Where it comes from being banter to then like kind of right? People actually probably would be offended by that.
Is he gonna have to ring the Pope and apologize?
You get on that phone right now. You get on to Mr. Pope and you tell him,
Mr. Pope.
I'm sorry, but imagine that doing your shopping, like, oh, bing bong, attention customers, this is a Tesco announcement. It's now government mandatory regulation to wear a face mask in the store, and yeah, F the Pope.
Ballymena is quite a religious place, though, isn't it? Like, it's quite. Would you say so, or
up round that part would be like I have a person that I know who was at the Tesco pumps, and he was getting down to like
Whenever
I think he was getting like the
pumping diesel.
Yeah, no. He was at the bit where you put the air into your tires.
yeah.
And he like got down beside his car.
Were you cheering him on and all whenever he was doing it?
Keep her lit, son.
Ballymena.
You fill them tires.
Come on,
No,
pumper.
You give him a wee
Pump her up,
slap in the
kid.
ass while he's pumping up the tires.
Oh, you're doing a great job. No, he was getting down beside his car to fill his tires up with air, obviously, but he's wearing a GAA top. And apparently some guy came up behind him and was like, oh, mate, you're in the wrong neck of the woods to be wearing that.
Oh, my God.
And he got up and was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? And the boy just like bolted.
The man in the GA top said that?
No, the man that it was a friend of mine was getting down to put tires in his air, to put air in his tires. And he was wearing a GAA top. And the guy came up behind him and was like, oh, mate, you're in the wrong neck of the woods to be wearing that. And he got up and was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Like, kind of, he said whenever he got back in the car, it registered with him what he had said. But when he was pumping air up, he thought he said something different. So your boy got up and was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? Like, as in, like, what did you actually just say? And your boy was just like, and just like took off up the street.
Yeah, he thought he was proper going to kick his head.
What did he expect? Like,
don't know. Why he's probably trying to be funny.
confront the poor lad just pumping up his tires.
Like, I don't know.
Would you say Ballymena is like quite religious? Then, like, would you say like, could you imagine people getting offended here and that?
I don't know, because like I don't know, because like if I was shopping in it, but then it's easy for me to say, because I'm kind of like, wouldn't like if someone's texts the tannoy and shout something, I'd just be like, all right, let's just get on with the evening. It's not like I would go home and reflect on it and be like, do you want to know what? I feel like I need to do a BBC News article because I'm absolutely gutted by that. Like, I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight.
Is it not a bit embarrassing that
This
like,
is the sort of stuff
that's a
sells in
news
Northern
story
Ireland.
though? Yeah. Is it not embarrassing that that's a news story? Like that's even being reported?
I don't know.
I
suppose though, it's people like it or like it not. Like the likes, I don't know. Like if you were in Armagh in a shopping centre in Armagh or something, and someone shouted that, like, what would you do? Like you would probably just be like, yeah, yo, and just walk on. Like I think it's that younger generation, whereas the older generation, like if I turn around and I said that, and like I know if like my ma or dad or something was in the shopping centre, they'd be like, oh gosh, who would say that? Like why what's the point? Because they don't understand. Like to some people that's just seen as a bit of banter, like, but then to others it's not.
Yeah, I suppose you'd just be like, how do you even find that funny?
But then someone flipped it on their head and was like, I wonder, like, if it was because it's Ballymena, and like Ballymena is typically like sort of like seen as like a proddy sort of area, if someone had come in and said the exact same thing about Her Majesty.
If that had happened, I think like the army probably would have been involved then. They would have been hunting her way down.
She would have been coming over, like, how she jumped out of the plane at the 2020 Olympics.
She didn't actually, though.
No, I know she didn't. Thanks for confirming that. I'm glad Daniel Craig didn't propel out of a helicopter with Queen Elizabeth. Oh, Philip, them Ballymena ones are at it again. Fetch me my chopper.
My God.
Flipping parachutes into Tesco. Oh no. But no,
What do you make?
I don't know
What
what's
do you
going to
think?
happen
Speaking
with
of
it.
the Olympics, you know they're still going to use the 2020 logo next year. You know they're having the 2020 Olympics. It's supposed to be this year, and was it Japan?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
using the same logo for next year. They're still using the 2020 logo, but have you seen the logo? It
Yeah,
was
it's
like the most
class.
perfect Olympics logo ever.
That's unreal.
Yes. Yeah, I said
Go look it up there.
I can see
But
that's why they
they've
want to
actually
use it.
decided just yeah. So they're going to have the 2020 Olympics in 2021.
I wonder will everyone do that though?
Just
Will
thought
it
I'd
just,
throw that
will
in
it
there
just
whenever
be
you're on
like,
that.
I wonder will everyone do that though? Like
Now
for like the Euros and all are going to be next year.
Well, now you can't play sport unless you're at an elite level, so I don't really.
Yeah, can you not do, you know, the way you do like that soccer during the week? Do you not do that
No.
anymore then?
I got you're
You're not late.
you're breathing into your mic, Thomas, and it sounds like it raises hairs at the back of my neck.
Oh, sorry.
You can turn it on.
I realized whenever I said that it sounded a wee bit sus.
Goosebumps.
No, the football was cancelled because obviously, like, we're in like a big, it's kind of like a big shed type thing with like a 3G pitch on the inside of it, but like it's kind of like a farm shed, so like you can open up the side doors, so it's like well ventilated, if you know what I mean. But like we've been playing that for the past 5 weeks, and it's kind of like we don't like, I don't know, like you can't play it unless you're at an elite level, so I don't understand why I'm not allowed back to play. But joking. But I got a thing the other day because I go to like a track thing on a Friday night to do running with a group of ones, and we had booked Antrim Forum, like the outside track at Antrim Forum, and I got an email there the other day to say that they had closed all the facilities in Antrim Forum, so you weren't allowed even to the outside track running. And you're like, right, but then I heard a thing the other day that apparently soft play areas are still allowed to remain open.
Doesn't really make sense.
Gyms are still allowed to remain open.
Gyms
are as long as they're individual workouts.
I think that's a mental health thing. Like, I think that's knowing if they close the gyms that everyone would be like, oh, mental health and stuff, which is true. Like,
but then why does mental health solely rely on gyms?
But why no running?
Because it's like a lot of people rely on going to the gym to benefit their mental health, I'd say. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, because if they went into total lockdown again, like everyone would have been like, there's going to be a rise in depression, which there has been, and like suicide rates have gone up. So like I'd say if they closed gyms as well as everyone else, like I think there would have been a proper uproar. But even like I don't see why they've closed like barbers and like beauticians and stuff, because they were open like well before pubs were open, and there wasn't like a rise in cases.
But it's funny because it's actually quite awful as well, because I went into an appointment on Monday in Ballymena
getting your nails done.
Yes. Wow. I didn't want to share that information, but since it's out there, yeah, I was getting I thought you knew. I was getting my toenail looked at.
What? I was joking.
Oh, no. I actually thought you'd. Oh
my God! We're gonna have to talk about this.
I actually thought you knew, and then I just landed myself in it. No, I was kicking the football the other night, and I felt this really like, it almost felt like a stabbing pain in the side of my toe.
Right.
And when I got home, it was like bleeding. I was like, oh my word! And Mum said it was like a bit of my toenail had like grew into the side of my skin. So I had to get like it's disgusting. So I had to get an appointment booked to basically get someone to properly like look into it, just in case it was iffy. But after I went and got my nails done and pampered and all, I went up to get my hair cut. While I sort of thought, I'm in town, I'll kill two birds with one stone. So I went into the barbers, and the girl that cuts my hair was like, "Flip, I don't normally, because I like kind of wait like 3 months before I get my hair cut after I get it cut."
Jesus.
So like I'm not a big hair cutting person, like, but I went in and she was like, "Flip, it feels like no time since I saw you. What's the occasion?" And as a joke, I went, "Oh, I'm just in here because by the looks of it, you'll be closed tomorrow, and like kind of joked about it. And she was like, "Oh, don't be saying that now." And then I get home, and then on Tuesday or on Thursday, it was like, "Yeah, all the barbers are shut." And I was
It's
like,
all your fault. It's all your fault. But like even when you go into barbers and stuff, like they're all wearing the masks and like the PPE. Like, well, not PPE. Well, I suppose is it PPE? You know, like the head visor things and all.
"Yeah,
Like I
I
don't
suppose they still
see.
have to touch your head though, don't they?
I know, but like still, I don't
That's
see why
inevitable. Like that's gonna happen.
and they do the track and trace and all. But like I just think it's
Yeah.
stupid closing them. I don't really understand it. I think like with the pubs you can sort of see why, but like with the likes of like a barber and all, when it's appointment only, and like even like the funding and stuff, like they've closed the pub. Like they were like, oh yeah, we're closing all these places, and then they didn't announce any funding like the day after, and the funding's a joke. Like if you're a small business, you get like I think it's like 1,200 or like £1,600 every 2 weeks. So like imagine like you've like what 3 or 4 members of staff on like 300 to 400 quid a week, like. And then if you have to pay a rent and all on top of that, like how our business is gonna stay open.
mm.
And pay yourself as well.
But what I thought with this whole thing was that it was only going to be 2 weeks, and I was kind of like, what is the point in that? But it's 4, isn't it now? Because in my head, I'm thinking like you take everybody out of society and put them in like basically what would be an incubation period, and then release them all back into the streets again. It's just
it doesn't really make sense. But I just think like it's businesses, like there's so many businesses that are just going to go to shit now because of like the funding. Like if you're paying rent on top of like wages and all, like how are you meant to even like how get anything out of it? It's just you're just going to be going bust.
Yeah, but like most of the places, like I went into Ballymena on Saturday to get Adam it was his birthday, and I was going to get him like a card and stuff, and I turned and got back out again. It was mad. Town was.
Or was this in the shop?
Yeah, like just town in general. Town was just buzzing.
I know.
What day was it?
Saturday. Yeah. But I don't know, like part of me doesn't mind, like, but part of me slightly a wee bit more frustrated because like lockdown was just lockdown, like you knew what you were doing, whereas now it's kind of like, what are we meant to be doing? You know
I think like I think they need to just like if they're gonna make decisions, like they need to know. Like I think that's a joke the way they're saying, oh yeah, we're gonna close all these businesses, but then they haven't announced funding. Like even when they went into lockdown the first time, they were like, yeah, we're going into complete lockdown. On like they announced there was going to be a furlough, but like people didn't have access to that for like 2 or 3 weeks. I think like it was just like, yeah, we're gonna do this, but then it's a few weeks before you're even gonna get it.
Yeah.
They're just a disaster. And then like it's either like if you're going into lockdown, everyone go into lockdown. Like don't just be like, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like down in the south, Monaghan, Donegal, and where's it? Cavan have gone into like lockdown. They're like level. I think they do levels. They do 5 levels. So at the moment, them 3 counties are in level 4. But what's happening? I think. So I know this because the bookies have closed then over the border in Monaghan and Cavan. So what's happening now is people are just coming down from Blaney and then going to the bookies in Katy.
Jeez.
So like they're still going out and going to the bookies. They're just coming across the border now. Like.
How do you feel about that? Like
realistically, the only way to.
Like how do you feel about like them bookies closing and you
like,
still being open?
I think it's. I think it's just making it worse because it's putting more people into one place at one time. Like it's pushing them all up here, and we're getting busier now because of it. So it's having an adverse effect then on maybe the cases will probably drop like around Monaghan and all, but they're just going to shoot up in Armagh and all as an adverse effect. So it's sort of stupid. Like it's stupid that sort of way. But I don't know. Well, I just think like the only way to stop it is to lock everyone down. Like there's no point locking down wee bits because people aren't going to like stay in their house whenever they know they can just travel like 5 minutes up the road and then go wherever, do whatever they want.
Do you not find it frustrating working on retail? Because like you could say like there's as much people be in and out all day in like the likes of a bookies or a shop that there would be in a pub or somewhere or like a barber's, you know. And like
see that's the thing about the bookies. It's like we sort of fall in between retail and leisure.
Yeah.
So we're sort of halfway between because we do have the counter and the till and all, and we're taking like it's sort of like a service. So
Yeah.
we're still in retail, but we can also be leisure as well. So
Yeah.
at the moment, they're just sort of like playing on that and using the fact that we can be both. So they're getting to stay open, even though it's realistically people don't need to be in the bookies at
Yeah.
all.
I was
But
talking to my dad and
they're
uncle
just
about
playing
it.
on that now.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad and my uncle about it, and they're basically saying they think that they've closed barbers and beauticians and stuff because it's the amount of time that you're spending in them. Like with a shop, you're in and out type of
Yeah.
thing. Well, not necessarily, but with the barbers, you could be sitting in there for an hour, 40 minutes, and the beauticians, you could be in there maybe longer.
Yeah.
But like, surely with the bookies, like most of
Yeah.
them are still staying in and watching the horses. Like for like I don't know, I'd say most of the regulars are there all day, are they?
Yeah, you do get people who come in and just do their batting away, like, but 80% of the people stay at least half an hour. But what they started doing now, there's a whole load of regulations, and now next week there's a big change. Like before, we weren't allowed to force people to wear masks.
Right.
Now, if someone comes in up to the counter with no mask on, you can take their bat, but you have to tell them, look, you have to put on a mask or leave. But like, it's just making it more work for us, like, and it's just going to be an absolute handling. People's going to tell
Yeah.
you no, and they're just going to sit there. You know, I know, right, Lila? How
It's
stubborn
awkward
people
as
can be. And like, why should it be my job to tell them not to wear tell them to wear a mask?
But that's like one of the things they were saying. Like I think Arlene Foster said, like they're gonna have to like be stricter when it comes to like retail and people going like wearing masks. But like who's enforcing it?
Well, it
Yeah.
should be authorities enforcing it. Like if you're, why is it anybody else's job? Because like at the end of the day, you don't know anybody's you don't know anybody's personal like life in terms of they can't wear a mask. So like it
Yeah.
should be up to the authorities to, and I do think you do get like a card or something that basically you can show to say I don't actually have to wear one. So
someone said that to me the other day about this card that you can go online. Apparently, it takes 5 minutes to get online, and you just apply for it. You can just enter. You can basically fake it, and then send it out to you. It's like £5. And he was telling me you can go through all this process, and I was just sitting there like, or you could just go get a mask and put it on your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, just some
but
people
then
want to be stubborn.
But then at the same time, I seen a thing there the other day. I think it was in Sports Direct or something in Ballymena. I think it was. I could be wrong. I think it was Sports Direct in Ballymena, but I'm not entirely sure. They had hand sanitizer and then big box of disposable masks at the door. So if you were kind of like walking in, now I kind of thought to myself, Sports Direct's a bit like, you know, you go into Sports Direct or like that's big USC place in it and like game and all in it. Like it's a big one in the Tower Centre in Ballymena. So it's kind of like you wouldn't go in there unless you knew you were going in type thing. So you would probably be more prepared to bring a mask. But places like a Spar, like a petrol station, like say Thomas, you were driving up from Armagh to Belfast and then you needed to like stop in at a petrol station, like you run out of petrol or something, and then you need to run in and you don't have a mask. It's like, why not get a big box of masks or something for that? And I know that's going to cost more money, but at the same time, it's kind of like, at least then people won't be caught out.
Yeah.
Like if you're walking out a thing and big Stevie Nolan standing there.
Craic putting masks at the door. Just get Stephen Nolan to stand outside with his big camera.
I know, but like,
people
is that like, are you meant to have someone then, a member of staff, just standing at the door all day being like, here's a mask, here's a mask, here's a mask?
But even just set them on like a table at the door or something. Like people
I know, but people aren't going to use them.
They're not, no.
It's like they're not going to, and they, like at least if there's someone at the door, they're sort of going to be like, right, okay. Like people just don't have any shame.
No. And people aren't afraid of the authorities. Well, these fines that are being handed out, I haven't heard of anyone getting one yet.
I do think they should like. I know it sounds pretty harsh, but I think they should be like.
Dishing out the fines.
I think they should be like.
They need to be coming into shops more regularly and actually giving them out.
Because they're not doing much, which means then the likes of, I hate to bring them up again, but it means then the likes of flipping Nolan's out harassing people, causing more harm than it is good. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
realistically like the police aren't going to have the resources to like go to all these shops and, you know, dish out the fines. But then I suppose you could look at it like if they went to like a shop for like half an hour or an hour every day, like went to a load of different ones, like word's going to get round that the police were here this morning and they like give like out like 4 or 5 fines to people.
Like I know in Ballymena, like Ballymena would be very easy to do that with, because like in Ballymena there's 2 shopping centres and then just every other shops out round the curbs and stuff, like out round the street. So like it
Yeah.
would just be a case of the police, and like whenever I was working in Carphone and Tower Centre, the police were walking through the Tower Centre all the time. So like why
Yeah.
wouldn't the police be walking through, and then anybody, because like they might, like I went in there the other day, as I say, and I counted a few people who weren't wearing them. Now, to be fair, they could have been exempt for some reason to not wear them, which is fair enough. But that's not my job to walk up and say, "I'll hear you, like, show me your card for not wearing a mask." It should be the police coming up and being like, "Sorry, do you mind us asking, now it's law, why you're not wearing a mask?"
You don't want to be a Karen.
Yeah, exactly. But here, it's all about not being a selfish prick.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it.
Just before you go out, I keep a flipping mask in my glove compartment in my car, and I keep a mask like in my, like I wear like a coat, like a red coat, which I pretty much would wear everywhere I bring with me.
Yeah.
And I keep a mask in there, and it's kind of like, you sort of have the precautions, but it's more of an embarrassing thing. Like I don't want to be caught. Like if I don't have a mask, I'll not go into a shop, because it's not that I kind of, and I don't mean this to sound a bad way, it's not like I don't care. It's I don't want to be the person that walks in there and get embarrassed by not wearing a mask. But maybe I'm just different.
I went in once, like there was one time where I was like stopping in to get something, and I was literally just running in to get like one thing, and I had no mask on me, and I was just like, oh, fuck it, I'll just run in. And do you want to see the looks I was getting? Like it's just, I was just like, oh my god, I just don't want to be here right now.
Yeah. Strange
Moving
times.
on, though.
Yeah.
New iPhone.
Who's
What
getting
I was
it?
saying?
Well,
Copping that.
Damn.
I'm not getting it.
well,
You two are on about getting it though.
You have an XR, so why would you probably wouldn't need one for another while.
Yeah.
I'm back to an iPhone 7, so.
What do you think of it? Like, what is there anything about it that's making you want to get it? Like, do you think?
Oh, I'll like, they've made it harder this year to choose. They've made it very hard to choose. Well, they've made it easy for some, but harder for others, because so they brought out the iPhone 12 mini, then they brought out the iPhone 12, then they brought out the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now the 12 mini is quite good because it's more for people who A, don't want to spend a lot of money, and B, don't want a big phone. Like it's the same size as an iPhone 5, which is quite good. And then you go up to that.
It was so cheap.
Yeah, it's
like obviously by iPhone standards. So.
699, yeah. And then
apparently it has all the same software as the Pro.
Yeah. And then you go up to the iPhone 12, the 12 and the 12 Pro. So do you know the way, Thomas, your phone is an iPhone XR?
Yeah.
So it would have been slightly bigger than an iPhone 10. But now they've made it that the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro are exactly the same size, and the only notable difference is camera.
But was that not the same last year? Was there not like an iPhone 11 one?
Two cameras,
there was an iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro, but the main difference was the iPhone 11 was just a basic LCD screen, whereas the 11 Pro was it was an OLED screen. Whereas they've scrapped that this year and basically made them similar.
So the iPhone 12 Pro is
all £2.5K now, aren't they?
£99.
The iPhone 12 Pro is $999.
Hold on.
The iPhone 12 is $799, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max is $1099.
How dear do you think phones are going to get before people are like, I'm not paying that?
Well,
I actually thought the iPhones this year were going to be 13 at least. Well, like maybe not at least, but I mean, I thought the Pro would have been 13, the Pro Max would have at least been 14.
The thing is,
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous money, though. Like seriously, like I know people are going to pay it, but like at the same time, like you're paying, you could buy, like if people could buy their first car, like a second-hand car, for like £1,200.
Yeah,
you know
but then the thing is, though, you have to think that people are just going to like contract it. But then even at that, like
you're talking £80 a month there.
I swear, like whenever I worked in Carphone, I literally sold a dad an iPhone XS Max for his daughter £71 a month and £14 a month for the insurance.
That's ridiculous.
It's nearly 100.
That's ridiculous.
And it's like, what? And like, I don't know, like maybe people are different. Like people have, like, to him that could have been very little money. And then you never know. It's like, you know, like my dad used to, like, would have bought me stuff whenever I was younger. And like, I know, like, ones in school would have been like, oh, flip me, like, you know, you're getting treated and all. But then there's people are different in terms of, like, at the weekends and stuff, they would have all been out with their friends, whereas I would have been at home helping dad, like, doing stuff around the yard and, like, giving him a hand out and stuff. So to him, it was like, you know, he deserves it, because like, he deserves it because, you know, he's given a pull out around the house and all this here. Like, whereas they all were out, like, you know, just with their friends all weekend. So like, I was making sacrifices but gaining something, and they were making sacrifices but gaining other things. Like, you know, it's kind of, everybody's circumstance is different.
The way I look at it is, like, I'm saving up to get that PlayStation 5, and it's 350 quid, and it's like a brand new thing, premium thing, like, and like,
that's the cheapest one though, isn't it?
But like, that's like it's 100 quid extra for a disc drive.
Yeah.
And like, I download all my games anyway.
I do download all your games in it. See, to me, if I was like, I'm looking at I'm between the Xbox and the PlayStation in terms of, I might get the PlayStation because I already have the Xbox One. So I'd quite like to have both, just for pure, I just want to have both. So it's kind of like, but then for me, like, you know what my download speed's like at this house. So I was like, what's the point of me getting the non-disc version? Because if I want to download a game, and plus as well as that, I take a notion sometimes where I want to play like a retro game. So if I pop on and go to buy it, it's probably going to still be like £45 on the digital store, whereas I can walk into CEX and get it for like 12.
Yeah, that's one of the things that they've said about, like, the disc drive, like, the one not getting the digital version is, like, you'll not be able to get, like, pre-order, like, get pre-used games and stuff, like second-hand games cheaper.
Yeah,
like the PlayStation will, like, be in charge of all the prices because you're getting it all off the PlayStation store.
Yeah,
but at the same time, like, I wouldn't go and buy a disc anyway, so I just don't see the point.
They've tried to up the prices now at the store. So they've tried to up the prices of the in-store price, or sorry, the online prices, because retailers want the effectively stay in business, still selling discs, because obviously it probably costs a lot less to produce the online copy. Like with the hard copies, you're producing discs and boxes and all, and that's an extra cost. So they'd probably end up being cheaper. But I think they're trying to increase the price of store, or else bring down the price of discs to try and keep retailers in effectively still selling away.
Back to the iPhone. What one are you going to get, Shay? Or what one do you think you're going to get?
I don't know. I sort of want the Pro, but I don't know. I wanted the Pro because of the camera, but that's the only real difference. Like, I don't see why.
I'm the same. Like,
what's the difference in the just the 12?
I see. I bought that Huawei like 2 years ago, thinking like this is whenever I was working on car phones. So like on paper, the Huawei's miles ahead. Was miles ahead than the iPhone, like miles ahead. So I ended up buying it thinking I was being so smart. But you see now, like, I have the MacBook and the iPad, so I'm like, and for us, even for me editing the videos for us, I have to flip and upload it to Dropbox, and then with my internet here, it's crap. Whereas I could just airdrop it. So I miss iPhone so much, and as well as that, I miss the camera on the iPhone, because like, don't get me wrong, the camera is very good on the Huawei and the Samsungs. But the issue is, if you take a photo on an iPhone, it's very quick to snap it, whereas the Huawei takes like a second. So if you take a photo and flinch, it just blurs it out. So if I'm trying to take a photo of, say, like my wee nephew or something, it's like Amy can snap a phone, like my sister can snap a phone in her XR, and it's so crystal clear. Whereas if I take it and Charlie like moves his arm, it looks pure blurred. So there's ups and...
Well, that's the thing. See, every time the new phones come out, it's always, the iPhone has the worst camera, the Huawei has a better camera, Samsung has a better camera. It's like 20 megapixels and blah, 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 all that there crap. But the iPhone one always seems to be the best one.
But then megapixels,
whenever it comes down to actually viewing the photos,
megapixels.
I know they don't matter, but it's
megapixels are just how big you can print it, and how often are you going to print a photo on a phone.
But even like the likes of us, like, if you're going out to take, if you're going to take photos, like, we all have decent cameras. Like, you're going to be using your camera anyway. You're not going to be using your phone camera. So it's sort of like, Like you're never going to go, oh, we'll go out take photos here and like whip out your iPhone camera. Like you're going to be using.
The thing is with they've made it very hard to choose because you've got the 12, the 12 Pro, and the 12 Pro Max, and literally the only difference between the 12 and the 12 Pro, it's not even size anymore, it's camera. And then you go up to the 12 Pro Max, and the only real you would be getting into the really, really technical people who actually care, but the bog standard user like us three, like the only noticeable difference between a 12 and a 12 Pro Max is the size, and there's another camera feature.
Slightly better. I mean, I think the Pro is like 12.5K resolution, or sorry, 2,500. What is it? It's 2.5K, and the Pro Max is like 2.8 or something like that there. And then obviously you have your extra camera. But I definitely wouldn't have the Max. I think it's too big.
When I was getting the XR, like I think it was like the iPhone X came out at the same time, or was it the iPhone
XS?
Yeah. And the only difference was the screen. Like it was like liquid LED or something. The other one, and this one just was a normal LED screen or something. And I was just like, I was like, you're talking like £200 difference or something, and you're just like, are you serious?
Yeah, coronavirus.
Get real.
Right. No, I don't know. Like I would quite like the 12. Like I would settle for the 12, but I definitely want to see it first because I know fine rightly if I think it's too small, I'm gonna hate it. So I'd be better going for the bigger one. Because my hands are flipping huge. So like Lucinda's phone is the 11 and it's like 6.1 inch. So I'm kind of like, right, that's just about passable. My phone's 6.4 inch. If I go down to like below 6, I'm gonna hate it because it's gonna be too. I don't know. I'm just picky as well. But
too small.
But that Apple's very good branding wise. Did you watch the live thing? Did you see the video and all for it? It was sick. It was sick.
It was class. It's so well done.
Yeah.
Is
that pre-recorded or was that live?
Aye, that bound to be pre-recorded. Bound to be pre-recorded. Aye. But yeah, someone counted like how many times he said 5G, and like realistically, that was their kind of main selling point. But like, where are you gonna get 5G over here, apart from Belfast, and who's on a 5G contract?
But that's the thing. It probably won't come into effect until all these phones come out first, and there's a demand for it.
Yeah, 5G. The issue I think with 5G is because it's so high frequency that like they've noticed that even like they need to basically have a module on every single street lamp for you to be connected properly.
Yeah,
and they've noticed like things like rain and all would distort it because it's such high frequency. Like it doesn't take much for it to get distort it. So. But they always do that. They bring things out and then they don't test them. Like Apple brought that iPhone 11 Pro out, and then they pushed some feature which was only available in the upgrade version, and the upgrade didn't come out till like 8 months after. So it's kind of like, oh, here's a feature that you can get, but it won't be out for another few months because we haven't perfected it yet.
Yeah,
it wasn't a live photo thing, was it?
No, it was something else. Some retina thing. I'm not too sure, but well.
Oh.
Have you got anything else you would like to add? Any other stories?
No.
Anything else been happening?
How are you getting on? Like, how do you think the whole? Because like we were still kind of. I don't want to talk about COVID, but I'm going to talk about it. Like, we were all kind of still seeing each other, if you know what I mean. Like after lockdown, but like when everything was getting a wee bit kind of like serious again, we were all still kind of like, right, we'll still do the podcast. But then there got to a point where I think we all agreed. I think it came to a point where we were all like, oh crap, we maybe shouldn't be doing this anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Like the way I seen it was like, if the pubs are open, it's a bit ridiculous that we can't do the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just like if we could all, the three of us could go and fucking have a pint together in the pub for like an hour or so, like how can you not come to our house? And it's not like we've a big massive friend group where we're seeing loads of people all the time. Like I'd see you like once a week, and then maybe see like Duncan or something, that's about it.
Yeah, but it's
Do you think we're going to go into an all lockdown?
We're basically going into one now, you know. Like I just,
Like,
I think I was talking
from what
about
it's
this.
at now, like where we're at, do you think it's going to go further?
I don't know. I was talking about this with someone on, like, they were basically saying, like I was saying, like, Gordon Foster made a point of saying it was only going to be 4 weeks. On, like, I think it was my mum, and she was like saying,
Yeah.
well, like, if she turned around and was like, it's going to be 2 months, people are going to flip the lid, and they're going to be like,
Sure,
no way.
they done that with the first
Yeah.
lockdown. They were like, "Oh, 3 weeks, and then we'll review it again."
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah,
extended
but
another 3 weeks and another
they
3
haven't
weeks.
said that. Like I watched that thing live, and she was like, "No, it's definitely 4 weeks. It's gonna be 4 weeks." And we've made a point to saying it's 4 weeks. So, like, if they turn around now in 4 weeks and be like, "Oh, we'll have to continue it," they could. But, like, what I was basically saying is, like, I don't think they will. But then my mum was basically like, "But, like, if she had said it could be 8 weeks or 12 weeks, like, people just wouldn't be abiding by it."
Mm.
It depends what way the cases go. Like, I think if the cases still keep going up, like, they can't turn around and be like, "Oh no, we're opening pubs again."
I think the main problem was the schools, though, too.
Yeah. See, like, that could be the thing as well. Like, the schools are only off for 2 weeks. Like, if they go back in 2 weeks and it goes up again,
it'll probably bring cases down a wee bit. But like as soon as they go back, like it's just gonna shoot up again.
but I don't know. It's just the balls, isn't it? I think they should just decide, like, either just not go into lockdown or go into lockdown.
Yeah.
They're only going into lockdown again because the hospitals are being overwhelmed again.
Thought my rug fell. Thought my rug
Your
fell
green screen?
on my head.
Yeah, the hospital. There's the beds are near full. Or they're running out of beds again, aren't they? In these COVID wards.
What do you think of, like the 4 weeks? Do you think it'll be longer, or do you think it'll be?
I don't know. At this
Yeah, I
stage,
think it will be longer.
at this stage, I am just so. I'm done. I'm just kind of like whatever. Like, I literally go Monday and Tuesday we're in uni, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I forgot Wednesday existed. I'm in at work.
Well, how
I
do you
think they're
feel
gonna go
about
the 4 weeks though, and then like after the 4 weeks, they're gonna be like, look, they're still high. We need to go into full lockdown for 2 weeks or something like that there.
Yeah.
And then I don't know whether they're gonna keep that. As your mum was saying, that they'll just say, "Oh, we'll do another 2 weeks," and then after that they'll do another 2 weeks, or
yeah, well,
they'll
that's
do 2 weeks
basically
and that'll be the end of it. Like.
That's basically what happened last time, but everywhere was
Yeah.
closed. Like, do you think that I could get a stage where they're like, right, we'll have to close these ones now, like we'll have to close retail down, like, you know what I mean?
Well, they still have churches open.
Yeah.
Classic Ireland, just
But
God comes first. Like.
What is your religion's pints, like?
They're
Sauce.
That's my religion.
I don't know.
Father sauce.
It's like they've got like a ton of churches, like especially out around here, have all got online and like online services and stuff. But it's like, I think anybody, I don't know. It feels like they're just doing some things to appease people,
Keep people happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like
People aren't happy.
I would be certain that if you were a hairdresser who went to a church, you would far rather be able to go into your work and make money to support your church rather than not go into work, not make money, but here, you can come in through the door anyway.
But that's just because religion's such a thing over here. Like, I think that's just stupid. Like, how can you say people can't gather in a pub, or like you can't go to your barbers or whatever, but then be like, yeah, like a load of these can gather in a church as long as you are wearing masks? Like, get a grip. That's the fucking problem here. Like, that just pisses me off. It's just like religion is just number one. Like, when people are going to go out of business because the funding shit, and there's no evidence to back up the pubs, or not pubs, like beauticians or barbers or whatever, like, have been causing an increase.
If the government don't give you furlough, just pray to God. He will.
No.
He'll sort you out.
The priest will soon be dishing out the money. Stupid. Just
have you,
ridiculous.
On a lighter note, to end this off, did you see the grandmother who went viral on, I think it was TikTok, because she let her child fall on the floor to save her glass of champagne?
No way.
Yes, this
He-
priorities thing. It's like,
the
you know, you
child
got your priorities right.
the child was like up on the table holding the bottle of champagne, and the next minute the child went to fall and the glass like kind of spilled, and the granny just let go of the child, grabbed the cup, and the child just hit the ground. Lucinda seen it and was like, yeah, that's got to be me as a mother.
I'll go.
To be fair,
All about getting your priorities right.
let the child go, save the white rug. That's such a Northern Ireland thing, isn't it?
Wow.
Like you're so concerned about like the maintenance of your house, or like I work with a girl, and literally she's so like house proud. She's like, oh, whenever guests come over, like I make the kids go tidy their rooms and stuff, and I'm like, but are you gonna be entertaining the guests in your child's bedroom? She's like, no, but like, they could walk in and think it's the toilet or something, and I was like, right, it's a child's room, like, you know what I mean? Very strange.
Yeah, it's like that meme where it's whenever guests come over, what your mum expects, and they just run straight up the stairs into your room and be like, I'm leaving. This is disgusting.
Well, we'll end it there.
Yeah. Hopefully this all sounds good.
I think that'll do.
That'll do, donkey.
We're gonna have a bit of a review. I'll have a look over this here and see how it sounds.
Yeah.
Probably post it anyway. And then next week we'll try and upgrade if we can.
There you go.
But that's all we can do for now.
Thanks for listening and watching. Subscribe, like, comment. Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.